Good afternoon, fabulous fourth graders. It's Mr. B here again to talk to you about your writing lesson for today. Today, you are pretty much done with your narrative writing piece. Okay, there's only a few more steps, just a tiny bit more, that you need to focus on in order to ensure that you have a great final draft of your narrative writing. Okay. Today we're going to focus on editing. Okay. Now, editing is very simply just checking to make sure that our format is correct, that we have no spelling or grammatical errors. It could include, if we want to kind of change some overall thoughts and ideas within our writing piece, but I would consider that more of like a revision. So we're going to save that for another day. Today we're just going to focus on just kind of overall layout, make sure that we have all grammatical errors and all spelling, punctuation, capitalization, paragraphs, dialogue. We're going to make sure that our paper looks overall fantastic, okay, that we don't have any mistakes that we can see. Okay, so we're going to start here on this front slide. We're going to look at and just make sure that we have our title is looking great, that we have our name written here underneath our title. We got to tell who your story is written by, the author. Okay, so make sure you got your title and your name. We're going to go to our first slide here. This is your chapter 1. We're going to start looking for any mistakes that we might see. So first of all, we're going to look at our paragraphs. Our paragraphs look great. Okay, we got an indent at every paragraph, which is fantastic. We got a space between our paragraphs, which is good too. Okay, that kind of shows us moving on to the next thought. I see a little mark here. Now, you're not necessarily going to see this on yours. I put a mark here just to kind of help me remember I needed to put this here. I needed to fix this. I need to put, if you read this sentence here, oh my goodness, I can't believe it, I said to my best friend. This is dialogue. I didn't end with a quotation mark there. So we need to make sure that we have all of our correct quotation marks at the beginning and end of when a character is speaking. Okay, so once a character is done speaking, make sure you got that quotation mark at the end of what they say. All right, so that looks great there. I got quotation marks, punctuation looks good. You know, I probably could change this to a period. Let's see. Oh, looks right here. I'm missing a space after my period right there. If you look right there should be a space. Okay, you could sometimes people put 2 spaces after a sentence, or sometimes people put 1. Doesn't really matter as long as there's a space after your period. That'd be fine. Okay. Also, you'll notice here a lot of times if you have any spelling errors, Google, or if you're working on a different program, they'll usually underline it with some red squiggly lines. Sometimes you'll see it's blue. Blue lines mean there's a grammatical error. Red lines typically mean that there's a spelling error. In this case, there's a spelling error. And if I just right click on it, it gives me some suggestions. Did I mean this word? And I did. I meant the word buy, B-U-Y here. All right, let's see. The rest of my paragraphs look great. Okay, let's move on to the next slide here. Okay, looks like I have a lot of red underlined words here. Let's just make sure that I have paragraphs look good. Okay, indentations on all these paragraphs, which is fantastic. That's what I'm looking for, making sure all my paragraphs are indented. And if you're not sure how to indent on a paragraph, it's very simple. Let's say your paragraph looks like this with no indent. All you're going to do is hit the tab key, and that is right underneath. If you look at your number 1, the button right below that is your tab key, and you hit that, and that gives you, I messed up there. There we go. That gives you the perfect amount of indentation spaces. Okay, typically it's about 5 spaces long or somewhere around there, but if you hit your tab key, that automatically gives you that indent space. Okay, looks like we'll get to this for, it looks like I included too many T's in this getting. So we're just going to delete the amount of T's that would make it wrong. And it looks like I got it right there, so that's good. Okay, here's another mistake. It doesn't look like I misspelled anything, but it does look like I didn't include a couple of things. for instance, it looks like a sentence here. Some of my friends suggested I should throw a big party and invite everyone I knew to celebrate. Everyone I knew to celebrate, and it should be, this word should say the occasion. And I think that's the end of a sentence there, so I'm going to put a period there. With my new ride for me, I thought that was the best way to celebrate. With my new ride, I'm just going to delete this part because I don't think that sounds very good. So with my new ride, I thought that was the best way to celebrate. I misspelled the word celebrate, so I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to find the correct spelling right there. Just one L. Everyone else in my life and show the appreciation. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that looks great. All right, the rest of this looks fantastic. Let's go to our next slide here. Let's see. I don't see any mistakes on this slide. No red lines. I got indents on all my paragraphs. Oh, wait, I'm missing an indentation right there. Make sure I include that. There we go. There's one indentation. And I think I got all my words spelled right. Punctuation looks great. I got all my sentences ending exclamation points or periods or question marks if I'm asking a question. Nobody's talking, so I don't need any dialogue. That's good. Okay. Oh, I'm missing a indentation on this next one, so let me put that there. Oh, there is a quotation mark missing there, and I'm just going to make sure I got that right. Put that there, and we should be good. All right. Yeah. So you make sure when you include dialogue, you have to have your quotation marks at the beginning and end of what that character is saying, and then you just address who spoke it, right? So make sure you include both of those things. You got your quotation marks, and then tag it with the person that said it. Okay, I think those look good. Let's check this last one out. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple of mistakes on this page, although there is no red, so I think I didn't misspell anything. But I'm missing some spaces in between my paragraphs. And if you can just simply hit enter after the last sentence in those paragraphs, you got those spaces that just kind of you make sure each paragraph has its own space, okay? And that looks great. Okay, so today what you're going to do, and I just kind of gave you a quick overview example of what you look for any red squiggly lines, any misspelled words. Make sure you check in for all quotation marks. Anytime you see a character talking, they have dialogue, maybe they're having a conversation with another character, make sure that when they're saying something that you include the quotation mark at the beginning and the end of what they said and then tag it with who said it. Okay, so make sure that you include both of those things when you have a conversation in your story. Okay, make sure and look for that you got all those paragraphs indented. Check for sentence punctuation, exclamation points, question marks, periods, okay? Last thing, make sure that you have spaces in between your paragraphs. And I think that's pretty much it, okay? So check for those things today. Just quick overview, quick look at your story. You should have every chapter written in your story today. You're just checking for any potential mistakes that you may have made, okay? All right, friends, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. I believe you can knock this out. I can't wait to read your final drafts. All right, friends, we'll see you later.